Hey, so this is me doing the second part of that video. So yeah, I've just been ranting about how I can't stand the sequel trilogy because if you watch the original Star Wars trilogy and you see what George Lucas said and was doing with it, the unique universe and the lore that he built up, it's so masterful, right? And there's so many deep imaginative themes and explorative narratives that are just demonstrated in that show. And I mean, with the Skywalker saga, I mean, you have this whole Star Wars universe with just the Skywalker saga. You set this sort of foundation for so much more to go on, which you see in games like Shadow of the Empire and X-Wing and the Dark Forces games and like the Jedi Knight games and like obviously the Old Republic. You see so much that is set up and there's so much lore and it's just so rich and there's this history, right? And then you take these stupid, ignorant, like old fat studio execs who, don't know anything and they're still watching like Gone with the Wind and, freaking Citizen Kane. Not that those aren't good movies, but it's like those guys those people don't eat, like Kathleen Kennedy, who is totally subject to this, has no idea what has been built or what is showing here in this full universe. So they try to capitalize on it because they're like, give me money, people like this. But they have no idea why people like it. They don't care about it. And then they don't even know how to find people who do care about it, right? They don't even know how to find people who actually are invested in the property and who know how to grow it and build on it. They're just sort of like, well, let's make money, let's do a bunch of testing groups to add our knowledge and add like some robot stinking automatons, and then after taking all your test groups and random crap, let's slap together a cheap, shallow, thin-skinned story that aesthetically uses it, has the same cover, and then say, oh, we'll take the characters, we'll bring the actors back, and call it good. But then you have this like walking husk of a trilogy that follows. And it's just disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful. And it blows my mind that people who have that kind of money and that kind of power can alienate storytelling that badly. Because I don't care who you are. Like, anyone with half a brain could read those scripts, watch those movies and those stories, and recognize, man, this is not going to fit. And how do you go in to building on one of the most epic pop cultural icons of all time, right? One of the largest movie franchises in history, and then not build a full congruent story throughout? How do you not do that? Right? And they're like, oh no, we had a plan that. Oh really? So you plan to bring Palpatine out with a freaking subtitle at the beginning roll down of the third movie. Right? That's terrible. So it's like, okay, so what is it? Are your writers terrible and you guys don't know how to put together a story? Or did you not have a plan? It's probably both. Actually, I know for a fact it's both. Right? And then they think we're stupid and we'll just buy it and we'll keep shoveling the money because it's Star Wars. That's why they put it on hiatus, right? And Bob Iger's like, yeah, we gotta cut that down. Because obviously it's not his job to oversee this. He's, trying to get Disney to make money. He's the businessman, right? And so I'm looking at Kathleen Kennedy and her leadership because, I'm sorry, she just blew it. She just blew it bad, and not any of the right ways. We're not talking about a nice blow on the couch when you're feeling good. We're talking about, like, dynamite up your ass, blow it up. Like that. She just blew it. She just... No. Just no. Like, the idea of we need to have a coherent script that's readily set down before we start milking this thing. And I get it. You paid $4 billion for it. You need to start getting it mobilized. But recognize that you have this huge behemoth of a property, right? And that doesn't make it invulnerable, though. That means you have to build on top of it. But when you start putting these spikes into the foundation and start messing with it, and the thing is, they don't realize that, we can do anything and that won't mess with it. It's like, no. You could make a story that will invalidate it. Because now I watched The Last Jedi, The Return of the Jedi, and I see them celebrating, and after the moon of Endor, and the Ewoks going off, and they're celebrating, and it's just so fun, and you have that music going off, do-do-do-do-do. And you see Biggs and Wedge and the whole gang that you spend 3 movies building on with. That it's this amazing, triumphant moment. And all of that is completely invalidated when the First Order, for some reason, so we don't even know where they came from or how they came to be, shows up out of nowhere, right? And not only do they show up out of nowhere with no apparent reason for being, right? Now they're led by, Ben Solo, which is kind of cool and stuff like that. But it's like you had so much to explore and stuff like that. Think about the fact in Rise of Skywalker, you don't even hear about Leia receiving any type of Jedi training until the third movie. Really? You're not going to mention any of that? And you're telling me, oh, we had it planned out. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't have shit planned. You didn't have shit planned. Right? And they just knew we're going to have these characters sort of do this and that. And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry. Pull a Star Wars fan aside. Find any old guy off the street. And they're like, well, we don't have any. And then Kathleen Kennedy, said that they didn't have any freaking source material to work off. And I'm like, really? So what about the whole Legends saga you just invalidated? All those Marvel comics that ran for like 10 years? Or how about those 30 years worth of books you had? Right? Or how about the fact of there's like dozens of video games made from LucasArts in the Star Wars universe that you could have done the launch pad of. You could have just left the Star Wars saga alone. Now, of course, you want the Skywalker saga to kind of come to some sort of conclusion for the characters, because, you have the actors still alive, right? And that would have been cool. But you completely misused them, right? Carrie Fisher died, right? The only one whose character actually made it to the third movie died. Like, the fact that all those coincidences happen is the universe being like, Star Wars, you're going the wrong way, and we hate you. And so, yeah, this has been my rant, and I love Star Wars, and I hate the sequel trilogy. It's like meeting someone and being like, you had a great grandfather who was magnificent, and your father was a great man, but you, son, are a piece of shit. And that is how I feel about Star Wars. So, yeah. 3 generations of Jedi did not make it. And just because Rey can say she's a Skywalker at the end of the day, that whole sequel trilogy is a great allegory and type of that. You can say you're a Skywalker, but you're actually a Palpatine. And that's how I feel about the sequel trilogy. So, yeah. Thanks. Take care, and yeah. Bye.